In the mid-14th century, one of the worst pandemics in world history, a bacterial infection known as the Black Death, swept across Asia, India, the Middle East, Europe, and North Africa, killing millions of people from China to Scotland. Until recently, the origins of this terrible plague have remained a mystery, and it has been one of the most hotly debated topics in medieval history. Some historians have theorized that it originated in China, others argued India, and others thought it first emerged around the Black Sea. However, in April of 2022, a shocking discovery made by a team of archaeologists, historians, and microbiologists may have finally pinpointed its true origins for the very first time. So what did they discover? Stick around and find out. Welcome to the Medieval Historian. My name is Christian and I'm a historian and professor. In this channel, we get curious about the past and ask questions. The earliest references to what would become one of the most devastating pandemics in human history come from the Crimea, the Black Sea region, in 1346. At the time, this region was a nexus point for trading routes which stretched across Asia from China to Europe, in lands largely controlled by the Mongols. The greatest documentation for the plague, however, begins the following year in 1347 when it reached Europe. Ships arrived in Sicily and Constantinople with their sailors barely alive. Once ashore, the plague spread quickly, infecting cities, decimating whole villages, and killing indiscriminately. Now, while the first evidence of the plague had come from the Crimean region of the Black Sea, is this actually where it began? The recent discovery, which was published in the Journal of Nature in June of 2022, sheds new light on the origins of the plague. The study began when Dr. Philip Slavin, an associate professor at the University of Stirling, noticed that there was evidence for a curious spike in the number of burials in two medieval cemeteries from northern Kyrgyzstan in a 2-year period between 1338 and 1339. In these two cemeteries, there were 467 tombstones, which were precisely dated between the years 1248 and 1345. However, there was a 2-year period where there was a massive spike in burials. In fact, about 25% of the 467 burials are dated to just those 2 years, which is about a decade before the Black Death came to Europe. Moreover, 10 of those tombstones specifically listed the word Mawtana, which in the medieval Syriac language means pestilence. If this was the Black Death, it would be the absolute earliest recorded example of it. So Dr. Slavin joined forces with a team of scholars from the Max Planck Institute for the Science of Human History at the University of Tübingen. The team included archaeologists and microbiologists, specialists in ancient DNA. The team excavated 7 individuals from the cemeteries and extracted material from the teeth of the skeletons. When DNA analysis was performed, the team found evidence for the genome of Yersinia pestis, better known as the Black Death. This proved definitively that it was here in Kyrgyzstan, nearly a decade before anywhere else, that the Black Death first emerged. While the team could not conclude why the epidemic emerged here, why the human outbreak began in Kyrgyzstan, we now know where we should look for more evidence. These cemeteries in northern Kyrgyzstan are situated in close proximity to the Trans-Asian trading network known as the Silk Road. So it's not surprising that if the plague arose here, it would eventually spread throughout the medieval world. The Black Death was one of the most important events in human history. In Europe, it would contribute to the breakdown of serfdom. The Black Death would usher in both social revolutions and economic change. It is not an exaggeration to say that the modern world would not exist if the Black Death had not happened. If you're interested in reading the findings of this team of scholars, I have included a link to their recent article in the Journal of Nature in the show notes below. If you've enjoyed this video, why not subscribe? If there's a question that you want answered about the Middle Ages, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, on the Medieval Historian.